Hey, everybody, it's Mitch Axelrod from the Fab Four Free for All podcast. And as discussed, the guys and I, Tony Traguardo and Leonard, are going to be trying something a little bit different, which we hope you will enjoy. It's more for the collectors out there, but we hope everybody enjoys it. It's going to be called Fab Four Free for All Finds. And what that is we will be releasing, each individual member will be releasing videos of certain Beatle memorabilia that they really like, and we'll try to explain a little bit about them. So that way, maybe when you go out there in the collecting world, on auction sites or wherever, even a record show, you'll be able to go in with a little bit more knowledge and maybe look for some cool stuff that you didn't know existed. So today's Fab Four Free for All find is the Beatles Movie Medley. Now, wait, before you say, I hated that medley. I didn't love it either. But until a few years ago, I didn't even know that there were 3 different copies of it. Now, we are going to be talking about the US 45 copy of it. Okay, sorry, international people, but you'll still find this interesting if you're collectors. So we're going to be talking about the 7-inch versions. Now, in February of 82, actually, let me go back a little bit. In 1981, a Dutch group put out the Stars on 45. That went #1 worldwide. And in 1982, the Beatles were putting out an album called Real Music, which is a compilation of all their music from their movies. And they got wind of the popularity of the Stars on 45 and said, hey, you know what? We own the rights to the real songs. We could put together a medley just like that, and it'll probably do really well because Stars on 45 did it well, and it wasn't even the Beatles. So they put out this thing called the Beatles Movie Medley. Before I go on, I want to just give a little background of the medley. Some things I never even found out. I didn't know either until I found out while researching for this little video. So it's kind of cool. So in February of 82, they put together an acetate. Now it's on eBay, by the way, if you want to buy it. It's expensive, but whatever, that's whatever floats your boat. But the acetate was the movie medley, which I'm not going to get into the songs. I think it was 7 songs, whatever. But it was that backed with Magical Mystery Tour. So maybe that was going to be the first incarnation of the Beatles Movie Medley. Who knows? But it didn't happen that way. And a couple of reasons probably why. Magical Mystery Tour probably would have been a good choice had it not been the first song in the medley. So I think they may have said, well, it's a little redundant, but it would have been kind of cool as the B-side because it was never released as a single. That is, unless you get to the 90s when it was released as a jukebox only, which was also really cool on the colored vinyl. And we'll get to those in a future video. But it was the first song in the medley, so they changed it. And they used something called Fab Four on film, which was basically the Beatles, 6.5 minutes of the Beatles talking about A Hard Day's Night. Very apropos, very cool, right? Interview. But it has been said and not completely confirmed, so I can't say this is the real reason, but it's been said that there was some legal issues with the interview, so that was pulled. And then I'm Happy Just to Dance With You was put as the B-side. Understandable. I'm Happy Just to Dance With You was in the movie A Hard Day's Night. So kind of a cool song. And it's sung by George. So maybe something a little different as well. So you didn't just get another, John and Paul song. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about it. So the acetate was 406. And every version released, which I'm going to get to in a second, were 356. So I'd love to know what the other 10 seconds were. Might be just a run out of Get Back, the last song in the medley. It might be an addition of another song. Who knows? And until that guy on eBay plays it for me, I won't know either. So in, again, February of 82, they put together a promo for the Beatles Movie Medley and Fab Four on film. Now, here's the cover of the release. We've all seen this one, right? It's fine. Mine's a little beat up, but whatever. It was a promo. and the back, which says Fab 4 on film. Now, the front and the back here and here are B5100. That's the catalog number that was assigned. Okay. But when you look at the promo, and you're not going to be able to see this well, but right here it says PB100, which stands for promo, naturally. That's fine. And the back was the Fab 4 on film, and it also says not for sale. All right, it's PB, and it also says on here and on here, not for sale. On here, it says it here. You can't really see it that well, but it does say not for sale. And it's PB100. Okay. They also pressed, but did not release stock copies of it. Figures. They put out a promo and they figured, okay, we're gonna put out some stock copies. Well, they put out the stock copy. Now, the promo sleeve does not say promo only. It's just a regular sleeve. It doesn't say demonstration not for sale like some promo sleeves do. It's a regular sleeve. So when the stock copy was supposed to come out, it had the same sleeve. Okay, same numbers, same everything. It was not any different than the promo. But the stock copy, which you can see here, hello, is PB100. PB100. All right. PB100. And the stock copy was not released. And all copies were ordered destroyed. And as we know in the collecting world, how often does that happen? Not often. Like the butcher cover, some of them got out. They were in Sears, wherever. Well, a few hundred of these got out. Now, a few hundred, you might think that's a lot. It's really not. You know, we've heard a few hundred butchers got out, but as we see on eBay, there's been thousands. So we don't have any idea how many actually got out. But I haven't seen a lot of these stock copies on auction sites at all. So quite frankly, there are very few of them that I've noticed. So if you can go out and find a stock copy of B100 Fab 4 on film, you're in good shape. It will run you $50 to $100, probably more than 50, but $50 to $100. I just happened to get one for 30 because someone didn't know what they had, and I didn't either until I researched it, but I was able to get it. But then in March of '82, when everything was released, because the radio stations had the promos, and the promos you cannot get readily. I mean, you can get them on auction sites now because a lot of radio stations had them and people, they went into collectors' hands and now in secondary market, but they were not sold to the public. So you couldn't really get promos back then. But then in March of '82, they put out the Beatles Movie Medley stock copy, but it was changed to the I'm Happy Just to Dance With You. And the number here and the number here was changed to B5107 instead of 5100. And also the same thing happened here. 5107, 5107. So there are 3 different versions of the US 7-inch. Now there was a 12-inch version also that had Fab 4 on film, and that's kind of cool too because it has the cover, it's black and white, and the back is black and white too. And the cover has a picture of a reel, a movie reel, and on the back it's got a picture of the Beatles surrounded by little pictures of their lobby stills, photos from their movies. So that's kind of neat. That also was at $356. So very interesting. Again, that acetate, I'd like to get it in my hands just to not to own it. I mean, I'd like to own it, not for 1,700, but I'd like to own it, but just to hear what the difference is, if there is, for the 10 seconds. So there were three different 7 inches, one 12-inch, and an acetate. So I want to just wrap up by saying, if you go out and look on any site or at a record show and you see a movie medley and it's set, and you look at the picture sleeve first and it says B5100, grab it and look at the record, because that's where you'll know whether it's a promo or it's a really rare stock copy. Again, B5100. Chances are you're going to get it out and it's going to be a promo. You can't help that. And it'll say PB5100. And you know what? It's not bad for a promo, because promo is going for 30 something bucks now. So if you can get it, great, 25 to 30 bucks. If you can get it for cheaper, awesome. People may not know what they have. If you get the elusive 5100, the regular P5100, B5100 rather, and you can pay little, you have a nice item, because it is rare. And most of the movie medleys you'll see out there are the B5107, which has I'm Happy Just to Dance with You as the B side. What can you do? So how did it do? Well, in the US, it was released and it went to number 12 in Billboard. Not bad at all, actually. The Real Music album did pretty well. So, I mean, it's still the Beatles. It was only 12 years after their, being gone, and all the compilations prior to it did really well. So Real Music did well, and Real Music had its own merits, and we'll get into that in some other video as well, when we talk about compilation albums or something. But the UK didn't want to release it. EMI said, we're not releasing that. Capitol said, okay, well, and then, funny enough, the demand for the export from the US of the US copies was so great, the UK could not hold it back. EMI couldn't hold it back, and they had to put it out. And funny enough, it went to number 10 in the UK. So it actually did better in the UK than it did in the US, numbers wise. Obviously, you have to sell less in the UK to do as good, but as well. But again, it went to number 10 there, number 12 here. So it did relatively well in both areas. And again, it got released around the world, most export copies, but it was really not a bad little thing. And the video is kind of fun, even though the medley itself kind of sucks. But so I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you go out there in the collector's world and say, hey, I found a stock copy and I didn't know existed until I saw this video. And guess what? I bought it and it cost me $5 or $3. That would be really cool. So anyway, this has been your Fab Four free-for-all finds for the Beatles movie medley. And good luck collecting, and we'll see you soon.